committee was to stop the monument. And the way to do that was to get something out that showed the NCA. So to have an NCA, what we did, we just produced a map that said, this is a starting boundary and suggestion. Whether or not that's gonna stay or not, you guys have to be prepared, because what is shown on that map is what we proposed for the NCA. The other groups have proposed something totally different. So there's a lot involved in this. We were just trying to get something out to stop the monument. And that was an NCA boundary, and we did our best to listen to people and make it as small as possible for the footprint for the NCA. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
We did discuss other things. We heard very strongly from the Gateway community that they wanted buffer zones around all private lands. So we talked about that. We talked about areas for opportunities for timber, for fire mitigation. We talked about those kinds of things as well. We heard very strongly from the proponents that the reason that they proposed what they did was because they don't feel like there are permanent protections on the ground currently through the resource management. Even though they're identifying areas as lands with wilderness characteristics and ACECs, they still don't feel like that is a permanent protection because it can be changed the next time that the resource management plan comes through. But now that we are sort of out of that umbrella where we have that black cloud hanging over us of whether or not there's a proposed, we've heard that we may be able to start to work with the BLM for an opportunity to look at areas that they can change things on the ground as well. So there were other discussions, but it kept coming back to the
I think that's a really good question. And as I said, you know, in March, I felt like, again, in the sense of urgency that we were under, that the NCA an answer. And I felt like we needed answers, if you will. But I'm not a technical person. That's why we have these guys. But, you know, the Gunnison group worked together, and there's a number of different protections out there that they looked at. I mean, there's so many thousand acres in this, and there's so many thousand acres in that. So I think that there are models that we can look at to move this forward that can find a place that we can all work with. So to answer that question, the urgency of, as you called it, the black cloud hanging over us, that was a good proposal. But I think now we need to have that conversation. What does it look like?
Yeah, I grew up in the South Mountains on a ranch in Gateway. For 17 years, I was an executive committee member of the Gateway Properties Owners Association that we turned back to the community a couple of years ago because there wasn't anything anybody was upset about. So there was like 3 or 4 of us that would go to meetings. The community club has done a great job at handling it. But I can tell you that I don't